The freedom of letting go of lust. Hey guys, it's Anthony here, and I want to come on here and talk about my experience about letting go of lust, letting go of corn, letting go of releasing your energy, just, not consciously. And it's one of the most freeing things, in my opinion, that after going through it, that a man can experience. We're really conditioned to believe that the energy that we have within us, it's not really something to be looked after or conscious about. It's something just to kind of release whenever you feel like it. But from my experience, after making a conscious effort to retain my energy for some time, I started this journey 5 years ago, and to not chase external validation from women, to let go of unconsciously following where my energy wants to take me and releasing, you experience such a deeper level of peace within yourself and a freedom that you can only experience when you go through it yourself. And even when I make this video, or you watch other videos talking about retention or, overcoming lust, it really is a journey that you have to navigate for yourself. For me, I got to a point where I remember having experiences with people, and I just thought, I'm done with this, and I'm done with watching corn and the low-level activity of doing that. And I just intuitively just felt, look, I'm a bit older now, and I don't want to be doing this stuff. At the same time, it's okay if I do it and I slip back into that, but the most common trajectory that I want to be on is ascending and transcending this and being free from it. And it gets to a point too where it doesn't even feel good. It feels like once you release, you're done, and then you just think, why did I do that, or why was I even focused so much on it? And that's the power of it. That's the power of lust and the strong creative force within us. And once I let go of watching corn and, edging and things like that, I then found that this energy was easily channeled into other things in my life. But the greatest benefit is you just feel more of you. You feel more full of life, and it's only something that you can experience for yourself. But for me personally, it feels healing. It feels like when you retain your energy, which makes sense, that you're more consolidated in yourself, you're more at the cause of your life, even though we're not really in control of anything. That's a whole other thing. But you honestly feel more consolidated and at peace. Whereas before I've definitely felt a little bit vulnerable, even being in public or walking around, when I was constantly depleting myself. And even these words like depleting and releasing and all that, the big thing for me was letting go of the judgment. Like, I knew that I wanted to transcend this stuff, but letting go of the judgment of, if I did do it, I just tried to be as conscious as possible and enjoy it as much as possible. Not with the intention to then go back into it and do more of it, but just to be present with it and enjoy it as much as I can. And naturally, over time, through that awareness and acceptance, I transcended those habits, and I immediately felt the benefit in my mind, in my nervous system, in my energy. And then I started to see shifts with how I interact with women, with people, and I just feel way more consolidated and content within myself. And I think this is something that a lot of men experience. I can't say that, across the board, because I don't speak to, different men asking them about this, but you can see on YouTube channels other people talking about this stuff, like a lot of people in the comments talking about this stuff, how it helps them when they retain their energy. And I know for sure watching corn is something I'll never do again. It's just not something I want to do. And I think when you get to that point where you're just enjoying your life and you feel so fulfilled and at peace, that it overtakes that low level desire for lust and that release. And then when you get out of that, it's like, it's just common sense. You're just enjoying your life in this new way of living, which is more consolidated in yourself. And that's the freedom of transcending this stuff. And I try to make these videos, you know, just to share my experience. And if you're here, then it's probably your calling to go through this yourself. But everyone has their own journey with this, you know. And I think a big part of all of this stuff is not judging yourself, not judging others, realizing that there is no good and bad in life because everything is meant to be. But at the same time, if you're feeling called to transcend, you know, let go of watching porn and, you know, chasing women and just having casual encounters, just to, you know, that part of yourself is not conducive to your life anymore. And it just is the up and down spiral, you know, searching and then you get it and then release and then you feel low and then up and then low and then up and low. For me personally, I just was like, I felt such a deep peace when I let go of those highs and lows, and then I stabilized even more and into the peace of who I am. And everyone has to go through this journey by themselves. And so I don't want to tell people this is the right way to do it and this isn't the wrong way to do it. All I can share is my experience and that it helps you guys. But I hope that helps you. And if you guys would like any more video topics about this stuff, I'm happy to share more of my experience and what has really helped me the most. But we all have it in us to overcome the compulsions of just releasing our energy, you know, on looking at our phone or whatever. Yeah, I always intuitively felt this isn't the peak of my existence to do that. And if you're feeling that, then use that energy to feel more of enjoyment within yourself and peace and wholeness and contentment. And I find that's the true way to have freedom with this.